What's up, y'all? This is episode 18. I'm here with Arnas, and actually, really cool story. He's been here in Colombia this is literally day 2.
Yeah.
Day 2 in Colombia. We met, shout out to brother Emilis. You guys have seen his episode. You've seen him here in the Colombia vlog. Yet another Lithuanian killer. I feel like I'm collecting Lithuanian Pokemons with, I swear, every single Lithuanian I get along with. You guys are awesome. We like to say Lithuania is like, or I like to say Lithuania is like Ohio with castles, so I think there's a bond there. But anyways, Arnas and I met, like 3 weeks ago?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago. Bro was like, hey, Will, I want to figure out Medellin, all these kind of things. I actually ended up in Compass as well. So this is really fire, the fact that he's here, we're getting to meet this fast. It's awesome getting to meet members in person. So he's here for a good while. We'll see how long he stays. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet so quickly in person and really get to be here today talking. So we've already talked about kind of how we roll. If you just give an introduction to a little bit on your background and who you are.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, first
Pleasure.
of all. So I'm 21 years old, Arnas, from Lithuania. I've been traveling the world for the past 2 years or so, and been running my business for the past 4. And I just have a media brand called Passionate Income. We have like 1 million followers on Instagram, 75K email newsletter readers. And then the other business is just teaching people how I've done it. But yeah, a bit about myself, not the business. I mean, the business allowed me to do what I do, but I love traveling. I love martial arts. I love motorcycles and all of that stuff. So when I thought I wanted to come to Medellin, I reached out to Emilis and I was like, I know you know some people there, please connect me. He introduced me to you. I ended up in Compass, and now we're here. But I love doing this. I've been to 27 countries now, so I don't think it's too bad for a 21-year-old.
By all means, very solid.
Yeah. So I just love traveling and working while I do. Yeah.
Awesome. And so let's start at that work, because there must be, seriously, I know I just hit the Lithuanian point, but for you, you're 21, Emilis is 19. A lot of you guys get started super early. So what brought you into the online world 4 years ago?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, when I was a child, I already knew, my dad knew. He was like, you have the hustle in you. Because I used to resell shoes, or
Same.
I used to go to the skate park, ride scooters, and I used to sell grip tape at the skate park, stuff like that. I never sold candy, but I think it's equivalent, So I was always a hustler, and I knew I was gonna do something. And my dad is also kind of a hustler, and my mom, on the other hand, is more traditional. So she has 3 bachelor's degrees.
Very so, yeah.
Yeah. So, and she's a psychologist. So it was a very interesting environment to grow up in. And I'm from a very small town of 7,000 people. So when I was growing up, I was seeing YouTube videos, because YouTube was popping back then, probably 2012, 2013. So I was just watching a bunch of YouTube, and I was like, how do these people figure out how to build a business online? It seemed impossible. But I was like, one day I'll figure it out. So I launched my first dropshipping store when I was 13 years old.
Seriously, that
young?
young?
On Shopify, free plus shipping, never made a sale. Well, I kept on learning, and I realized how this whole space works. And I tested a bunch of stuff, affiliate marketing, trading. I went into MLM, without even knowing what that entails. And I just was all over the place, just trying to figure out, because my mom told me, hey, if you finish high school and you have nothing going for you, you'll go to uni. And my dad was like, well, he can probably figure something out. So when I was in 12th grade, I was 17 years old. I was like, I need to figure something out. I was maybe doing something here and there, but nothing serious. And then, the pandemic hit, and, I wasn't going to school. So I was scrolling on TikTok, and I was like, wait a second, all these billionaires Ray Dalio are uploading videos on TikTok, and I kind of connected the 2 dots. I was like, wait a second, I don't post anything on social media, and a billionaire does. why do they find it so valuable? Like, I didn't know exactly why. I was like, if they do it, I should do it as well. But I didn't want to post anything on social media with my face on it. So I just started a faceless page. And that's how it all started. Like, that's how I got into it. But I think, like, I always was entrepreneurial as a kid. Always was trying multiple things. Like my friend, you would ask my friends from high school, they would say, like, yeah, he always was talking about business or some stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I got into it.
Sweet, awesome story, and wild it. Okay, so I have to ask personally because some of them may know my story, but like I actually didn't learn about the online world until I was 22.
Yeah.
So how did you find out about it? Were you just spending a lot of time on YouTube or like?
Yeah, so it's funny. There was this YouTuber called Crazy Russian Hacker.
Crazy Russian Hacker. This is definitely some Eastern European things.
Yeah. So he was doing videos in English, and that's like the first time I found out about YouTube. And then I got into the rabbit hole, and then I was like seeing videos like how you make money online, and I was like, what the hell? Like, is that even possible? And you know, it would be like fill out surveys for 20 hours a day and make like $5, but I was still like, that's still incredible, you know, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it was just like, I was marketed to, you know, at an early age, I guess. And like, as you're growing up in like a country like Lithuania, I mean, I don't come from like a poor family, but let's say we're middle class. We definitely, when I was growing up, my parents really didn't have like loads of money, right? Like not at all. So like, you kind of have this feeling that sooner or later you'll have to figure it out on your own, and like, why not start sooner? So that's probably why it came early, and I was just hit by the right marketer guy, you know, probably at that age. But I mean, I didn't have money to buy courses or anything, but I was trying to learn, reading through forums, joining Discord groups, stuff like that, and it just happened so that, you know, I got into the whole space later. And even when I started my Instagram page, like I literally started it because I was like, well, rich people are posting, I'm not posting. I should post. You know, that was the thing. I didn't know anything about digital marketing, email marketing, ads, like none of that.
It was just post.
Yeah, just post. And just so happened that, you know, I had a good understanding of content, and I blew up, and then I was like, oh my God, there's so many possibilities when you have an audience online. Mm-hmm. So then I started meeting other people, you know, and so on and so forth.
And so to give people a perspective, because right, though you are 21, it's been 4 years, how long did it really take, would you say, for you to more or less take off to where you were like, okay, hey, this is it, this is what I can do? How long did that process take?
So actually, like with Passionate Income, I was relatively dedicated already because I was 17 and I have 1 more year left in high school. So I was like, if I don't figure this out to some sort of a level, like at least make $2K a month, but just like have something going, then like I'll just go to uni. And we just talked before the video, like I'm a 1, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very against like the traditional system and the government, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not gonna do this. So yeah, I just needed to figure this out. But like I was 17 when I started Passionate Income, right, 4 years ago. But like I said, I launched my first dropshipping store at like 13.
Right.
So it was like ongoing learning from there because I built a dropshipping store. Like I sold it for $100, you know, and I was like, I just made my first money, and then jumped into e-com, affiliate marketing, but nothing really took off, you know, like, and I really didn't care. I mean, as a kid, you're like, you're good, you have a roof over your head, you have no responsibility, so I wasn't as motivated. But like, just when my mom said, no, like you're going to uni, that was like,
picked it up.
Okay, now I need to like really figure this out. So I'd say like it took me a good 2 years of actually like trying to make my like first real money online, you know.
Got it. And so now, right, in the position where you're able to travel, you're doing well, enjoying life, and doing the things you like to, what is the vision for the future with yourself, with business, etc.?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I mean, like a shorter term goal is just to stack cash, buy real estate in cash, just have like a really solid base you know? Like, I know we talked about this just like before, but you said that you're like super traditional, and I want to be the same way, if that makes sense, where like, okay, have real estate, I'm safe, I can get married, have kids. So that's more like in the next 3 to 5 years, right, where I can kind of like settle down, and afterwards I can build a new company. So with Passionate Income, like I had multiple offers to sell the brand, and I was like, the first time it happened, I was like, whoa, like I can sell a business. It was like a new thing for me. And I was like, well, how do I make it more valuable? Because I didn't take the offer. I mean, it was a good offer, but I didn't take it. It would have been a hell of an exit for like a 19-year-old back then. But I was like, how do I make this like more valuable? And now I've been building up Passionate Income, less of just a faceless page on Instagram, a meme page, to more of a media brand with our own product suite, where we can help people, you know, as well make money online with our products, or just inspire people at the same time. And through the process, obviously capitalize on everything. So yeah, we're doing many different things right now. We're trying to figure out ads. I'm doing a lot of YouTube. I'm very heavy into email newsletters. So I guess as the email newsletters grow and the faceless pages grow, like it will become one big media brand, which eventually will do an exit. And then I'll settle down for a few years, and I'll probably go on to a new business after that. But that's kind of the thinking. And for now, I'm making good cash flow. Like, I'm not spending all my money, which I did make that mistake at first, you know, because as a guy from like, you're from Lithuania, you're from a 7,000 populated like town, like you want to see the world. And when you make your first like 10 grand a month, you're going to spend that 10 grand, you know, like even if people tell you, oh, don't do it, save money, or just like, yeah, whatever. Like I've done all of this, and I was dreaming about this all my life. So I spent a bunch of money. Let's say when I started making actual money, like the first year of traveling, I spent all my money, and I couldn't believe how much I spent after I did. And then I was like, okay, now I'm just going to make more, but like spend less and stack cash. So that's the situation right now, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm still spending the money. I'm still traveling. I'm still meeting cool people, but I'm stacking way more cash to be able to build a very solid base for the future.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's incredible. And really why we're on that growth and that vision, for those who, you know, are either at that place that you were, or even just a younger version of yourself, what would you tell them if they want to, you know, get to a point where they're traveling or, you know, following something that allows them to accomplish their dreams? What would you say?
Yeah, so like I made a few mistakes for sure. I think everyone can figure out how to make money online. It's really not that hard. Like, people just overcomplicate it. Like, it used to be really hard to get into a business. Like, you know, barrier to entry was so high, you know, back like 30 years ago, if you're running like an industrial business or whatever. Like, now you can literally post 3 times a day on Instagram and make money like 6 months later, or post on YouTube, you know, every day. And people are like, oh, you're making a video every day? Like, yeah, bro, it takes 20 minutes to film a video. Like, don't overcomplicate stuff. So number one, don't overcomplicate. Like, anyone really can figure out how to make 10K a month. Like, I truly believe that. Obviously, if someone wants to go further than that, you really need to like dedicate yourself, learn, and stuff like that. But like, I guess 10K a month is this like popularized number online, and I truly believe it's a good number, because most places in the world, if you make that, like, you'll be good. You'll be living a pretty free lifestyle, have the freedom. So don't overcomplicate stuff, and just like keep it consistent. Like, it's really not that hard, you know. Like, I think Japanese like business owners, when they build a plan for a business, their initial plan is 25 years, right? So like, yeah, online, like, you can set a plan for a year and you'll be ahead of 99% of your competition. So keep it simple, keep it consistent. Another thing is, like, when you do start traveling, like, networking is so important. So that's one of the reasons why I joined Compass, right? Like, yes, right now, could could have I like figured out how to meet someone off the internet and stuff like that? Probably at this point. But when I started traveling, my first big trip was to Bali, and I went with my friend, right? And we were just wandering around. We didn't know anyone, and like you just meet a random guy in a cafe, and it's like that guy is just like on totally like different level, not in a good way, you know? Like
Yeah.
And then you're like, what am I doing here? Like I'd rather stay at home and just like work then and make more money and just focus on work. So when you do travel, like meeting the right people is extremely important, because your whole trip, your whole traveling experience relies on the people you hang out with, right? So like if you can meet people who are thinking the same way you do, that will be super helpful. And third piece of advice is please don't spend all your money. Yeah.
Or learn fast not to.
Yeah, learn fast not to. Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Yeah. Awesome. And then really continued on that on a more personal angle. What do you feel in, hearing more and more of your stories? Like, obviously, tons of respect, even before hearing it. But what is one thing that you feel is unique about yourself that has allowed you to do well and to flourish like you have?
You know this new meme, I'm just a chill guy who like... yeah, I think I'm just a chill guy who's like, doesn't overcomplicate stuff. I think people just overcomplicate everything, It's like way more simple than you think. And I took it like very simple, right? So I look at the situation as is. It's like, for example, okay, we want to do like Facebook ads now. Cool, it's gonna cost like minimum $5,000 a month, like no guarantees, no nothing. Cool, like I'm just a chill guy who's 21 years old, who's making money, and $5,000 less in my bank. On the bigger picture, really won't make any difference, but the upside here is way higher. So I think I would weigh everything like very simply, like, okay, I'm starting a newsletter. This is probably gonna cost like $100,000 of my investment. What's the upside? Like, I can probably sell a media brand down the line for like 10 million. So it's like, cool, simple, And I think like the uniqueness part here, the simplicity comes from, I love numbers. I used to love math at school, which like most people hate, right? But it was something about numbers from the early age where like the high school exam I took, I didn't learn math for like 2 years because it was like pandemic on and off. I just read, the book for 2 days, just got like an amazing result. It's just like, I love math and figuring out equations. And I think that applies to life and business. And another unique thing is I started martial arts at 6 years old. And my coach has, I think right now, 3 world, he taught 3 world champions in karate. And it's Kyokushin karate, so not like the Olympic style where you're like jumping. It's like full contact. So like you can truly get injured, So I started that at 6 years old with like a really good coach. And I did that until around 17 because I got injured. I like cracked my rib.
You can't get injured, yeah.
Yeah, so I cracked my rib and then I was like, I'd rather focus on business. But my coach taught me so much about discipline and really like mindset. Because martial arts is just like 80% mindset, and your will, if you will, to do it.
Yes, I will, yeah.
So I think that like helped me a ton, yeah.
Sweet, incredible. And then before we wrap up specifically, right, because you're definitely the first to be in the theme page area and whatnot. What would you say to someone specifically looking to get into theme pages? Or why they should get into theme pages as opposed to other things? I mean, you can do so many things. I just chose theme pages for a few reasons. So like when you're running one page, let's say, it really doesn't take you that much time because you can really post only like 3 to 5 times a day. So like it's not like, an agency you can like send out 800 outreach messages. Like if you work more than 2 hours a day, like you're working just to work, So that was one thing. Yeah. So you're not doing anything productive. So one thing, like you can really do this relatively easily.
you don't need to show your face, which was like a big one for me. And at the end of the day, like you're still utilizing the big boom of social media, like the gold rush, you know, and you're capitalizing on that without really like being that weird influencer you don't want to be, right? So that's why I've done it. I know some people just like give it a shot, don't really wait enough, but social media is a great business to be in. And what I do specifically, and like when I work with people, I teach them how to grow a faceless Instagram page and pair an email newsletter to that. So I'm a strong believer now in building like a sustainable business, right? So like if you get, let's say, into agency space, and you know, I traveled to Dubai, I lived in Dubai, I met a lot of people who would just go to Dubai, get so motivated, do like 50K a month, and then they just like go back to like 5K a month, you know, overnight. And they just don't have obviously the proper systems, and they're probably not doing everything right. And also like, it's not as sustainable. Whereas like, if you can use social media algorithms to gain a database, basically an email newsletter, and you can gain enough emails, anything can happen. You can get banned on Instagram. You can go off the platform. Instagram can shut down in US for some reason, or whatever happens. Like you'll still have an email list that you can hit and make money like consistently no matter what. And if you know what you're doing, you're just going to keep on growing that newsletter, like, you know, pretty much organically, you know, where it will make sense to reinvest the money and grow that. So yeah, that's why I think it's great. Yeah.
Sweet. And so please, would you tell everybody where they can find you? Instagram, YouTube, wherever else you'd like to.
Yeah, so Instagram at owner Arnas. YouTube is at CEO Arnas. pretty funny names, but I guess like they are what they are. And then if you just reach out to me like on Instagram, I can send you like free trainings and you'll be on my list essentially. So that's pretty much like my personal stuff, but I'm the most active on Instagram,
Awesome.
and YouTube, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you have absolutely any questions, like you said, DM Arnas, or as always, please DM me. Thanks again for watching. Be blessed, y'all. This is episode 18.
Peace.